Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News, and your daily wrestling newscast for Saturday, January 6, 2024. Good morning. Filling in today for Mike Sempervive, I'm Lou Kipilman. We begin today with last night's New Year's Revolution edition of Smackdown, broadcast live on Fox from the Rogers Arena in Vancouver. The main event, a triple threat involving LA Knight, Randy Orton, and AJ Styles to determine the number one contender to the Universal title, was ruled a no contest when Universal Champion Roman Reigns and Bloodline partners Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso stormed the ring and attacked all three participants.
The Bloodline is in the house. Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso, and the Wise Man do what they want, when they want, to who they want.
Solo Sikoa, instructed by Reigns, heads inside the ring, as does Jimmy Uso.
And this has got to be disappointing for the WWE Universe just as much as Orton, Styles, or Knight. We had a classic on our hands.
This is carnage now, absolute mayhem.
But Roman Reigns answers to no one.
During the melee, SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis informed Paul Heyman that Reigns would have to wrestle against all three men in a fatal four-way for the Universal title at the Royal Rumble. In the opener, Kevin Owens defeated Santos Escobar in the finals of the tournament to determine the number one contender to Logan Paul's United States title. Paul, who was seated at the commentary desk, confronted Owens after the match, but Owens laid him out with a forearm. Paul Ellering and the Authors of Pain made their WWE return during the show, joining forces with Karrion Kross to attack Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits during an in-ring promo segment.
Karrion Kross and Scarlett.
Oh my God, that's Paul Ellering! And from behind! That's AOP! Razor and Akam dropping hammer fists on Lashley and the Street Profits.
Just battering Bobby Lashley and the Profits, and Karrion Kross will do the same.
In other results, Io Sky successfully defended the WWE Women's Championship against Mia Yim, and in his main roster debut, Tyler Bate teamed with Butch to defeat Pretty Deadly. AEW presented Rampage last night on TNT, featuring matches taped last Wednesday night at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. In the main event, Wheeler Yuta made the third defense of his third reign as Ring of Honor Pure Champion, defeating Commander via submission. In other results, the Hardy Boys and Mark Briscoe beat Kip Sabian, the Butcher, and the Blade in the opener, and Hikaru Shida defeated Anna Jay. An update on Liv Morgan's drug possession arrest. Earlier this week, the most serious charges against Morgan, real name Gianna Daddio, were dropped from the criminal case against her in Sumter County, Florida, including the main charge of possession of synthetic cannabinoid. At the time of the arrest, Daddio claimed that the vape pen found in her car did not belong to her. The remaining charge against her, for possession of under 20 grams of marijuana, has been transferred to Sumter County's Misdemeanor Court Division. Her arraignment, which had been scheduled for February 12th, has reportedly been canceled. Turning to Japan, Matt Riddle appeared in a pre-taped vignette at New Japan Pro Wrestling's New Year Dash yesterday in Tokyo, during which he issued a challenge to New Japan World TV Champion Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Konnichiwa, New Japan. Let me introduce myself. My name is Matthew Riddle, the King of Rose, and I got my sights set on Tanahashi-san, the ace of New Japan. I'll see you soon, bro.
The date and place for a match between the two has not been announced. Tanahashi successfully defended his title the same night against Ryosuke Taguchi. Also on the card, Taiji Ishimori captured the vacant NJPW King of Pro Wrestling title, winning a four-way match against Great-O-Khan, Toru Yano, and Yo. In the main event 8-man tag, Kosei Fujita, Mikey Nichols, Shane Haste, and Zack Sabre Jr. beat Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Kazuchika Okada, and Tomohiro Ishii. Before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the wrestling news. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.